What we know is 1. The angels were created before the creation of the earth. 2. Satan had fallen before tempting Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Certainly, the dimensions of time in the spiritual and earthly realms are distinct. This image serves as an illustration to help us envision a chronology comprehensible to humans. The exact timing of when God created the angels is still open to debate, but what is certain is that God created everything with goodness. In His holiness, God does not create anything sinful, undesirable, or specifically designed for sin and destined for hell. Hell exists as a consequence of the sin committed by creatures who oppose, defy, sin against God. Before delving into the fall of angels, we acknowledge some frequently asked questions, such as 1. Did God create Satan and devils? 2. If yes, for what purpose were they created? 3. If no, why do Satan and devils exist? What is their origin? In other religions, like Islam, it is mentioned that God created angels from light nuur and God created Satan from fire naar. However, this belief is not found in our Bible. This video focuses solely on our Bible, where the Bible does not state that God created Satan. So, how do we understand the concept that God is the creator of all things? If He is the creator of everything, then Satan is also a creation of God. Isn't that correct? From the biblical perspective of Christian teaching, a good God, He creates good creations, tov. In the process of creating the heavens and the earth, the Bible consistently concludes God's expression of the creation process by stating that the creations are good, tov, with the declaration, God saw that it was good even at the end. It is mentioned in book of Genesis as follows.
And God saw everything that He had made, and, behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Genesis 1:31.
There are also speculations that Satan was newly created during the creation process recorded in Genesis chapter 1. This is based on the verses.
And God said, Let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Genesis 1:3-4.
The term darkness in these verses is interpreted by some as the creation of Satan. Is this the intended meaning of our Bible? The darkness Hebrew, kosiek, here is part of the creation process of the earth. Darkness does not imply the creation of Satan, but is rather a state of absence of light. As mentioned earlier, the fundamental understanding is that a good and holy God does not create beings specifically for sin or wrongdoing. Evil and sin exist due to the free will possessed by angels. Angels who, following their own desires, rebelled against God are the fallen angels, referred to as Satan the devils. At that time, the earth, still imperfect, was gradually perfected with the introduction of light or, followed by luminous bodies that served as sources of light in the creation of the universe. Subsequently, plants, animals, and humans were created. Darkness was not present before, but it existed due to the absence of light. The conclusion from Genesis chapter 1 is that God created the heavens, the earth, and everything in it, including humans, in a state of perfection very good, as stated in Genesis 1:31 above. Therefore, it is clear that God did not create beings that are not good. The evidence from these verses can be the foundation for understanding that God did not create a being intended and designed to commit sin or evil. Angels are spirit beings created by God. Angels were created in a state, nature of goodness. The term angels, Hebrew, malak, etymologically, and conceptually refers to messengers or ambassadors of God. Angels are portrayed as bearers of messages from God to the patriarchs, Genesis 22-11. In later literature post-exile, angels are considered supernatural beings organized in a hierarchy before God. The Bible speaks of both good and evil angels, emphasizing that initially all angels were created good and holy. Due to their free will, many angels participated in the rebellion. Angels are undoubtedly creatures and holy. However, because they have free will, they can be influenced by temptation to sin. The Bible talks about both good and evil angels, emphasizing that initially all angels were created good and holy because of their freedom to choose. Many angels joined the rebellion led by Satan, abandoning their original positions as servants of God, thus losing their heavenly roles. These fallen angels are referred to as Satan, the devils. There are numerous references to the fall of angelic beings under the leadership of Satan. The fallen angels, also mentioned in both the Old and New Testaments, are identified as Satan, the devils, contrary to the ranks of good angels, who remain faithful servants of God. There are evil angels under the authority of the fallen chief angel, namely Satan, Matthew 25-41. Hence, we understand that there is a group of angels who abandoned their original position as servants of God, thus losing their heavenly roles. What is the biblical evidence of these fallen angels?
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Isaiah 14:12.
This verse, in common interpretation in Western churches, is attributed to an angel who aspired to be like God. The figure of an angel aspiring to be like God is the idea in verse 14. Commentators see this as a veiled reference to Satan. They connect this with the statement of Jesus Christ below.
And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Luke 10:18.
When did the fall of the angels occur? The Bible explains the existence of a group of fallen angels, but does not specifically mention when this fall occurred. What we know is 1. The angels were created before the creation of the earth, Job 38:4-7. 2. Satan had fallen before tempting Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, Genesis 3:1-14. Therefore, the fall of Satan must have occurred in the period between the creation of angels and before he tempted Adam, and even the Garden of Eden before the creation of heaven and earth. Certainly, the dimensions of time in the spiritual and earthly realms are distinct. This image serves as an illustration to help us envision a chronology comprehensible to humans.